Today we're going to take a look at something that I think is pretty neat. Yeah, we'll call it the tip of the day. But this past weekend we were out doing some filming, the boys were, and you know, it's hard for me to believe this, but you can't see your cell phone screen in the sunlight. Now, they've been making cell phones for a long time. It's been a problem for a long time. I don't know why the cell phone manufacturers haven't figured out a way to overcome this problem. We use GoPros around here, and the GoPros, you know, we had a GoPro 9, I think, and amongst other ones, and you can see the screen on it fine in the sun. Now it's not as big as the cell phone, but we don't have any problem seeing the screen. But the cell phone, you can't see anything. And I mean, even if you're not filming, if you're out somewhere and somebody calls you and you take your phone out, you can't see the screen to see who's calling you. If you want to make a call, you can't see the screen. So anyway, you know, we looked around, and you know, quite frankly, this has been a problem for a long time. Years ago, 20 years ago, we had little shades or hoods for our laptop computers to use them out in the sun. So I thought maybe somebody makes one for a cell phone. And I did look around. They make them for, there's a new product, I don't know how new, but appears to be a new product for iPhones. That fits various iPhone models, but nothing for various Android phones. You know, in particular, we use Samsung. Not that it's any better than anything else, but that's what we use. So I did find a sort of universal fits-all sun visor, and is this item right here. It's actually pretty cool. It's plastic, made in China. But it's got spring-loaded flaps so that it wraps around your phone. It's expandable to fit different size phones, and it looks like it's going to work pretty good. It has, let me see, so it goes this way, has ports in the ends for access to your various jacks and charging outlets, but it's got a rubber pad right here in this corner and one in the other corner, and then a little rubber pad right up here in the top, so that it gives your phone something to butt up against. And we'll go ahead and see if we can fit our phone in. Now I have a case on my phone, and you know, it's not quite sure how that's going to work, but we'll give it a shot. And let's see, we set the phone in there. We'll lay the phone flat down on the counter, and let's see here, get ourselves situated, open it up a little bit. I need more hands. Okay. Flip flap, okay. Now, get the phone sort of plunked in there, down flat, and you know, there you go. The only thing that that I see is that you know, you have opening here for the whatever's there. You have an opening here for your charging point, but the on-off buttons are covered up, and that's not too spiffy. You know, you can turn it on by just touching the screen. At least I can. So I'm sure there's a way to overcome that. I think what I'm going to do with this one is I'm probably going to find where the button is and drill a little hole in the top of this and see if I can get access to the on-off button at least, to be able to get in there even with a little stylus or something and turn it off if I so choose. The other thing that I think I'm going to do with this one, and you know, the thing is cheap enough. I think it was 18 bucks or something. I think what I'm going to do is in here on this rubber pad and this rubber pad and the one on the other side, I'm going to try to glue something, a little bit of rubber, a little bit of plastic there, and actually make a channel that phone is going to fit in. So right now it just sits back in there and the spring tension holds it, but it could easily pop out of there, I think, if you weren't careful. So by putting something here and making a track, now it's got to slide down over the phone, and I think that'll help hold everything in place. And I think it's going to work out cool. This is really be a good idea, and maybe they already make something like this for your drone control. If you're using your phone to control or see where your drone is, this would be pretty cool to mount on your rig there, to be able to see your phone out in the weather. But it's not perfect. I think it's a starting point. Maybe there's some stuff out there that's a lot more expensive, that's a lot better. Don't know, but I'm going to start with this. As I said, I have the case on here. I think it probably works better without the cell phone case, but we'll see. The other thing that I have, is a mount that I clamp the phone onto. Actually grabs the phone on the back side, and to put it on the tripod to hold it, and that mount will grab the whole rig like that and hold it on the tripod. So that's going to be cool too. So now, at least now, if you're trying to film something, you'll be able to see the screen. So what we've done with our sunshade is we went in here and add a little piece of plastic. This is a piece of phenolic, just a little strip, and we glued it to the inside of this sunshade, and basically that made a little track there for the phone to sit in, so that it just holds it there. Can't sort of flip out that way. And then on the sides they're spring loaded and you have the rubber pads. So what we're hoping at that stage of the game is that that will hold the phone quite nicely and keep the cover from jumping around. We'll have to mount it on our tripod next. If you were really crafty, you could put a couple of strips down the sides as well, and then you'd have 3 points of contact with a track all the way around. I think we finally got our cell phone sunshade project sorted out. We went ahead here and carved a little hole in through here so we could access the power button on the phone. And the bigger thing is, of course, that we made these little stops inside to almost make like a track where the phone would fit in there. And I went ahead and also put some on the side, so we've got 3 points of contact here and here and here to hold the phone in place, and we'll show you how that looks here in just a second. So there you see now that the phone, even with its protective case, fits inside that sunshade, and these little stops are just enough to hold it in place so that it's not going to fall out. The sides are spring loaded, and it can't sort of flip out of it. So that's going to end up being a nice unit. Now, we didn't pay that much for this plastic housing, but it was a good starting point. You can or cannot modify one that you buy to suit your needs, but in this case I think it's good. This particular phone, we can turn it on by touching the screen and operate most of the functions, but if we really want to turn it off, we need the power button. So we were able to get through this little hole with a stylus or something just to access the power button to turn it off, otherwise, or put it to sleep, let's say. Otherwise you got to wait till the screen times out. But the other thing we have to go with this is we have a clamp, a mount that clamps over top of the whole thing and then screws to our tripod or our slick stick or whatever it is we're going to use, and we end up with a nice shielded screen that we should be able to see in the bright sunlight. And Bob's your uncle. So here you can see what we've done is just mounted the whole contraption here on our selfie stick. We've got a clamp here made by Redicam. Got a 1/4-20 hole in the bottom so you can mount it on a tripod, or in this case selfie stick, and there you go, one cell phone with a sunshade.